Today, I'm going to show you how you could buy your first home in your 20s and have it cost you less than the monthly payment on your car. We call it house hacking. Stay tuned to find out more. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having an amazing day. If you don't know who I am, my name is Aram. I'm a real estate agent in the Chicagoland area. So if you or anyone you know that wants to move, just let me know. I'm happy to help. That being said, today's video is going to be super exciting, super knowledgeable, and super simple. That's the best part. If you end up enjoying it, do me a solid, hit the like button, comment your thoughts below, your feedback, what you like it, if you don't like it, and then of course subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, follow if you're on Instagram, and share it with your friends so they could also get the same knowledge. But don't share with all your friends, because this is some insider information, and it's best if you are going to be the one that's going to be doing the house hacking, maybe keep it to yourself. But if you're not, share it with all your friends. Now that we got the intro out the way and we're all on the same page, let's get down to brass tacks. House hacking. How are you going to do it in your 20s with your first purchase and still keep your monthly expenses low? Well, I'm going to tell you in just a second. But first, let me preface everything by saying who this method, this specific method I'm going to share with you, is perfect for. It's perfect for the individual who's looking to buy their first home. Obviously, you're in your 20s. If you're buying your second home, you're already ahead of the game. Don't worry about this video, okay? Somebody who actually wants to move out and buy a home for themselves, all right, that's number one. Or someone that's currently renting and would like to own instead of having to spend money on rents, right? But how do you own and still have it cost you less money? Because home ownership is pricey, ladies and gentlemen. Here's where house hacking comes into the picture. The most common association with the term house hacking comes from buying a 2 to 4 unit multifamily building and living in one unit, renting out the rest of the units to offset your costs, right? And in rare instances, you may even be able to live for free or even make like $100, $200 a month in cash flow from the other rental properties, right? From the other units being rented. That's a very rare circumstance. Most cases, it's going to cost you anywhere from $300 to $400 a month to live in to do that scenario, right? However, that's not what we're talking about today, because I don't feel that's the best strategy for somebody who's looking to move out for themselves, right? Or is currently renting and is just looking to buy instead of keep throwing money at the landlord. Here's why that's not the best strategy for somebody in that position. Number one, inventory for multifamily, specifically 2 to 4 unit buildings, there's a lot less of them than anything else out there, right? So the inventory is generally always going to be less. So you're going to have less options, right? Second of all, finding a place that you would actually want to live in. So it's in the location you want, a multifamily in the location you want, and the price point you can afford. That's key, right? That actually cash flows and it's in decent condition. Whoo! Very, very difficult to do, right? It may take you a couple of years. And at this point, if you're going to be renting for a couple of years, it defeats the purpose of what we're trying to do here with this house hacking way, okay? It's a way to get you to home ownership and start building wealth long term, right? That's what house hacking is for, is get you in the door. And by doing that method, it's not the best for somebody who's actually looking for a place to live for themselves, right? It's great for those people who want to start investing, because those 3.5% down FHA loans is an incredible, like a low barrier to entry for somebody who wants to own multiple units as an investor, right? It's fantastic. Not best for somebody who actually wants to move out and live in one of the units, personally, if you ask me, right? So here's what you're going to do. Here's why we're not going to use that strategy. Here's what we're going to use, okay? Instead of shopping for multifamily, you, my friend, are going to look for a minimum of a 2-bedroom condo. Anywhere you like. If you want to live in Chicago, have at it. Maybe you want a condo in Wicker Park, Lakeview, Lincoln Park, River North, or maybe you want to be in the suburbs in Schaumburg or Palatine or wherever you want to live, right? I live in Chicago, so I'm using Chicago examples, right? You buy a minimum of a 2-bedroom condo. You live in one of the bedrooms, obviously, and you're going to rent out the other one. It's a pretty simple concept, right? 2-bedroom place, you live in one, rent out the other one. I say 2-bedroom because that's going to be the cheapest option. Now, there are some people in their 20s who are very well set financially, and they can afford to buy a 3-bedroom, or even get wild, buy a single family that's a 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom situation, and you can even rent the basement, etc., right? Those options exist. But we're talking, low barrier to entry situations here, and you're going to want to look for a 2-bedroom condo. It's best in the suburbs because it won't cost as much, but if you got the money and you got the credit, you have the income, have at it in Chicago. The reason I've personally had clients do this and it worked out fantastic. I personally plan to do this here in 2021 for myself, right? Just because it's the smart thing to do. And here's an example of how that would work. I was actually looking at this condo in Elk Grove Village for $150 is what they were asking. If I paid them whatever they wanted, my mortgage payment with association and everything was around $1,100. Now, this one was actually fully rehabbed, so it was in fantastic shape. And I knew that if it was a one-bedroom in Elk Grove Village, would rent for $1,100, right? So finding somebody that's going to rent it for $900 is going to be a win-win for everybody. The renter's saving money, $200 to live in a nicer place for less money. And for me, it's only costing me $200 to $300 a month to own that place because my tenant is paying about 80% of my mortgage, my taxes, and my association. That's the beauty of this strategy, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, you got to make sure the numbers make sense, but in almost every scenario, the numbers will make sense. As long as you don't buy a place that's in god-awful condition, you're going to be just fine, right? And here's a long-term strategy and how you're actually going to use this method to build wealth. You do this, right? 2021, you buy a condo, right? And when you buy it as a primary residence, you get the benefits of putting 3.5 or 5% down. So it's even lower barrier to entry, right? You do it again in 2022, then in 2023, then in 2024. Before you know it, you turn 30 and you have 4 to 6 rental properties, all cash flowing, all paying you money, all appreciating, all building equity, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we call long-term wealth, ladies and gentlemen. That's the concept here of house hacking, how a small little investment could go such a long way. So there you go. Now you got the big picture. Let's go minute. An obvious concern you are going to have is, how am I going to find tenants, right? Is it difficult? Is it easy? Well, it's actually very, very easy. The best way to do it is find your friends, right? I can't tell you how many clients I've had who, them and their buddies would, get together and they would rent a place for $3,000 a month, each person paying $1,000, right? I've had maybe 6 or 7 clients do that specific scenario. Now imagine if one of those 3 friends bought the place, his mortgage ends up being $2,400, he still charges the other 2 people $1,000 each, he's living for $400 a month. So there's actually a lot of people who do this. So find a friend that's looking to move out as well and say, hey man, I'll give you a deal. $900 a month, average, market rent is $1,100, so you're saving money, I'm saving money, we get to move out. Boom, win-win. So finding a renter like that is very easy. Now, if you don't have any friends, maybe you're just, you keep to yourself. There's actually so many websites out there that you can vet people out and find somebody who's looking for a roommate, because that's always cheaper on the renter side as well to be a roommate instead of renting the whole place, right? You can do your background checks, anything you want, that's there. Chicago as a whole has got a huge rental market. So if you do live in this area, you have a built-in benefit for yourself. So now let's talk about, I don't know if I mentioned this in the video at all, because it's a primary residence, you don't need to put as much money down. 5% is going to be the max. So if you're looking to live in Chicago, a 2-bedroom condo is going to cost you minimum $250 if you want something decent. So be prepared to have anywhere from 15 to 20 grand cash. The rest you can finance into the mortgage if you want to live in Chicago. If you want to live in the suburbs, honestly, $4,000 to $6,000 cash, we can get you a place. It's going to be very, very easy, right? So that's the concept behind it. And if you have any questions for me, if you want to do this yourself and you want to dive into the juicy details, I'd be happy to do it. Shoot me a DM, call me, email me, whatever you want to do. And if you enjoyed this video, share it with your friends so we can help them as well. Take care. Bye-bye.